Hello guys, Clarky here. In this video we will cover GW's new way it plans to update the FAQs and errata for Middle-earth strategy battle game. This update comes from Jay Clare, the Middle-earth's team's primary rules brain, and was posted on the Warhammer Community page on the 1st of August. I thought I'd summarise what was discussed in regards to the way the rules are updated, but also some other exciting bits and bobs which were included as well. For those that don't know, Middle-earth strategy battle game was what got me into the hobby to start with, and if you look at my very early videos, you can see it is littered with updates and army showcases of my high elves. So it's nice to know that this side of the hobby is getting some much needed quality of life love. So, let's get stuck into it. Prior to this, GW released updates to the rules shortly after each new supplement was released. But moving forwards, the Middle-earth strategy battle game will be following the same tried and tested structure for releasing its FAQs and errata as Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Age of Sigmar. What this means is there'll be 2 updates a year, once in February and the other in August, ensuring that the game can remain balanced and fun for all Middle-earth fans. Jay also delved in to discuss some of the more significant changes and why these were made. The first to the Iron Hills Ballista siege weapons. These are the huge siege engines that Dane Ironfoot brought to the Battle of the Five Armies and are devastating weapons of war, as you see in the films when they tear through the ranks of Thandril's army. This is much the same in the game, just as it should be. However, it was felt that the Iron Hill Ballistas were too dominating on the battlefield of Middle-earth, and as such they're getting a points increase, from their current 90 points to the new 125 points cost. Next, the Heroic Challenge. Perhaps the most intriguing of the new heroic actions, Heroic Challenges allows players to have their heroes call each other out to engage in single combat. However, it was found that the downsides to declining this challenge weren't enough to stop the weaker hero from simply refusing to fight their challenger. To help with this, if a hero declines a heroic challenge, they will no longer be able to call Stand Fast to help their allies stuck in battle. This change means a player will have to more carefully consider the pros and cons of declining a heroic challenge, as the disadvantages of doing so are much less appealing. Hopefully this change will see many more epic clashes between the mighty heroes on the battlefield. Next, Impossible Alliances. When this edition of Strategy Battle Game was written, one of the main aims was to reward players for taking thematic armies that were true to the battles and events portrayed throughout the history of Middle-earth. Army bonuses were introduced for armies made up entirely from one army list, which worked nicely alongside the Allies Matrix and Legendary Legions to help achieve our vision. However, it was realised that some armies actually benefit from being an impossible alliance, and models shouldn't really be fighting alongside one another, are being combined to create unthematic forces with no real penalties for doing so. To help combat this, 2 changes have been made to the Impossible Allies and how they work in game. Firstly, Impossible Allies may no longer benefit from the banners of models not from their army lists. A small change, but one that feels right, as being Impossible Allies, they should not really be following the colours of those they have been lumped together with. The other change is a bit of a bigger one. Each part of the force containing Impossible Allies will have their own individual breakpoint and will start to take courage tests when their part of the force is broken, rather than the overall army. This means that, when you take Impossible Allies, certain parts of your force will break at different points, and some may be fleeing, whilst others are not. Additionally, if any part of your force is broken at the end of the game, then you will concede the victory points for being broken. Lastly, the last major change is to 2 specific magical powers, Nature's Wrath and the Wrath of Bruen. Before, these powers could affect all enemy models within 6 inches of the caster, knocking them prone and sometimes even causing damage. The range of these magical powers was simply a bit too much and was allowing casters who had access to them to stay safely behind their lines and cast without ever putting themselves at risk. This proved to be a little too effective on the battlefield, and heroes such as Elrond, Arwen and Radagast the Brown rise far above when they should have been in comparison to other casters. To resolve this, GW have reduced the range of these magical powers from 6 inches to 3. This still makes them very effective magical powers, however now they are not quite as powerful to play against as they were. To get the best of them, the heroes will have to get themselves into much more dangerous and exposed positions before casting, and so it becomes much more of a risk to do so. GW are confident that these and the other changes they have planned will make for even more exciting battles. You can check out all of the designer commentaries and errata for the current publications to see if any of them affect your games, and we'll see you all for the next update in February 2020. So, having heard the changes that GW are proposing, do you think these are well overdue, or something that didn't really need changing in the first place? I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, until next time, Clocky signing out.